about would be, let me share the screen here again. Okay, before we dive into CVI a little bit more. So we have this playlist that is for Leadership Academy for the few who missed it. We're going to be sending that out for you. And then over here, basically from Leadership Academy, we came up with, hey, we need a simple onboarding playlist of videos so an assistant who's considering to be an assistant could watch it and know exactly what to do and be mentally, have the right framework in order to be put in that position to be an assistant. And sometimes new assistants are thrown into it. So with this, what's great is we have this playlist that's about an hour as opposed to, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos instead of like 100 on the AM training playlist. So I like just throwing videos together that I feel will bring value to that person in that situation that just keep adding on as I hear them and listen to them. After talking to Andre of the McAllen office, I felt like it was important that we have a simple playlist, less than an hour, that they're smaller videos so we can just clip off and watch and understand more of what it takes to be a leader. So there's some cool videos in here. I'd love your guys' feedback. It's just that says Northwood's Potential AM playlist. So if someone's thinking about an AM, you know, like Lydia out of Green Bay, or like Landis out of Appleton, right? Or many others, or even some of you, right? There's some of you like at Kensington or others who might really benefit from watching this. But essentially, it's a Discipline Equals Freedom video by the Extreme Ownership author, Jocko. He's great. That's really great, helping them understand that just because you're a student, everyone around you in school is not disciplined, like they are not creating freedom for themselves. So that's a really good video. Then it's me talking about what it takes to become a leader in our division. Dave Ramsey going off on where success comes from. It's a 9-minute video on how it's important to grow throughout college and not just go to college, and about how success starts when you're young and success starts with thinking differently. And then a rich versus poor mindset, which is basically with Robert Kiyosaki talking about rich dad, poor dad, and how about you have to have a rich mentality versus a poor mentality. And then Dollars and Cents, the really good video from Dan Cassetta we watched on Saturday about saving money, investing money, and what to do as an up-and-coming vector person. And then the 5 Ps of an assistant by Nick Smith. Oh, and then that's a good one. And then Running Phone Jams. Education. There we go. So please look through those. Please let me know what you think. I'd like just a concise, simple playlist of some shorter videos. So anyone who's potentially looking for assistant management or someone who's looking to be promoted understands. I feel like sometimes we promote people without them understanding the whys behind it, and they don't get how lucky they are to have dual income, of pay off the office and their personal income, and of how to think and why they're working, and taking them through a vision exercise on why saving $100,000 in the next 3 to 4 years is really important, and how these videos kind of help set that in motion. So any questions on that? Okay, let's dive into CVI. All right, guys, so I want to have some fun with this. I want to do some quizzing. I want to just see who wants to have some fun. So this is a CVI cheat sheet. If you don't know where it is, oh, I just accidentally went back. So you go to the tinyurl.com/NorthwoodCVI. It's where you take the CVI test assessment. Then you can join the Facebook group. You can download the free CVI sheet. And on here, this has the cheat sheet. So I'm going to rattle off these for you guys. And then I want to see what you guys think you would do in certain situations. Okay. So as a review, we went over this last 4 weeks. As a review, builders like power, personal energy of power, irresistible force, inspiring others to take action to influence results. They're straightforward speech and bottom line thinking, just get things done. They're highly intuitive in order to make quick decisions. Their challenges, they're unwilling to get help. They interrupt, they disregard details, causing mistakes. They can confuse taking action with getting results, where they might just take action and action, action without actually getting anything done. And their conflict strategy is intimidation. When they get in arguments or they get backed up against a wall, they like to intimidate. How to recognize them in an interview, on a demo, with a rep. Their handshake is firm, domineering, a long hold with strong eye contact, right? Which you probably can take a guess that Donald Trump is probably somewhat of a builder. Clean by creating piles elsewhere, right? They'll just quick move everything out of the way. Josh. Monuments that reflect their power. They like the pictures and the statues and the awards that show that they accomplished great things. They have a low tolerance for details and long-winded explanations. So they hate explanations, they hate stories, and they hate emails and a bunch of bullet points. Okay, how to influence them. Be direct. Start with the results they want. Inspire short-term mission. Don't give them details. Just tell them to take action and share the difference they can make and give them a challenge, right? Just give them a challenge. That's a builder. I'm reviewing this so you guys know how to influence these people. A banker likes knowledge, likes equality and fairness. Their knowledge is available to all and used appropriately. They believe that. They're committed to educating themselves and others based on thorough research of the facts, not emotions, not hopes, but these are the facts. They take action at a high level only once they truly know how. So they will be paralyzed until they actually know the system, and then they can take action. They deeply care that everyone has equal access to knowledge and are treated fairly. So they love equality. They love that everyone has an equal opportunity. Their challenges. Without great training, they refuse to take action without knowing ahead of time. They're ones that need a plan. If you don't tell them exactly what's going to happen in training, they are not showing up. They will withhold needed information if they sense lack of justice. So they'll let everyone else fail and have that aloof judgment if say, nope, you guys figure it out. Nope, you take care of it. You don't want my knowledge. And that's their conflict strategy. It's like, fine, screw it forget you guys. How to recognize them? Their handshake is weaker. It's vertical. It's appropriate. Nothing out of place, perfectly groomed. They look sharp. They look nice. Nothing's probably wrinkly. They for sure took a shower. They got all the lint off their shirt. How to recognize them is everything is organized. Their space, their car, their room, it's organized. They never interrupt you because it's not polite. They show off educational accomplishments like their diploma and their 4.0. They have a low tolerance for anything not backed by solid data and foolish behavior. You don't have facts, good luck getting them on your side. How to influence? Respect their knowledge and only say things you can back up. Never exaggerate. Give them information that backs up your points and ask if they need more to make a decision. So that's a banker. Merchant, they love truth, trust and honesty, building relationships. The nurturing of core values is oneself and in others. They're focused on relationships, they're visionary, they're great team builders, they're great at rallying the troops. They take social and emotional risks with others as long as it's in a team atmosphere. They like growing together and nurtures competencies in others and processes ideas verbally. So they speak out loud, they think to process, or they speak to process, and they think as they speak. Challenges, they can get distracted by relationships hurting their results. This is be very careful as a manager not to worry about hurting someone's feelings for the sake of your business, right? As a high merchant, I've many times helped people too much and it hurt business in the past for just me not pushing someone up or out. They can exaggerate and share lies to try and preserve relationships because they don't want to hurt people's feelings. Their conflict strategy is manipulation. How to recognize them? Their handshake, usually it's two hands or a hug, warm demeanor or a bro hug. Comfortable eye contact. They're disorganized with lots of unfinished projects. They have probably tons of emails. They have things all over their computer desktop. Probably a lot of family pictures. They have art. They like the whole look around them. They have a low tolerance for long, agenda-driven meetings and abrupt conversations. They like to think it through, talk it through, and have time for discussion and team bonding. How to influence them? Talk openly and honestly while also getting them talking about themselves. Ask the right questions to help them talk out their answers for doing something. These are people who love PCs. Innovator, finally, and then I'll ask you guys some questions, some quizzes here. They love wisdom, and it's by compassion. They're open to ideas. They see the way things are and know what to do about it. They objectively see all the pieces of a problem to effectively make the best choices. They love seeing all the possibilities first. They're great at creating systems and strategies, and patient in the pursuit of the best options. They take time. They think it out. They like to get all the information first, and then they take action on it. They're independent thinkers who get better results when they can do it their way, on their own. They can be viewed as selfish and very independent. Their challenges: they can wait too long to take action, thinking too much, crippling them. Also, they can get stubborn when their ideas are challenged, sabotaging all others' ideas, saying, fine, if my idea you guys don't like, well, look at how much your idea sucks. Where the banker might just go, all right, I'm not going to say anything, forget you guys. The innovator's like, all right, here's why your idea sucks, here's why your idea sucks. Hey, ever think about this? And throw in little curveballs to make everyone get off topic. Conflict strategy is interrogation. They ask a lot of questions, and you're just like, tell me this, how come, why? Boom, interrogate. How to recognize them: their handshake is kind of flimsy, non-committal. They let you move their hand and take initiative. Very little eye contact, and asking a question. They live in clutter. Clutter is all over the place. Effective with lots of projects going on. They usually have like a creative, loud dress. They like to be flashy, and they usually have a desk full of gadgets or trinkets. Low tolerance for lack of thoughtfulness. They hate when people don't think about the others and take a moment to think. And people who don't ask for their opinion. They love to share their wisdom. They love when someone likes to hear them out. How to influence them: sincerely ask their opinion and discuss ideas. Willing to tell them all the whys of things, and acknowledge their intelligence and trust that they will figure out the right answer. So they really love to be known for their wisdom. Okay, so that's the overview. Now let's quiz. So I'm gonna go down the row here. I'll see if anyone wants to step up too, but I wanna do some scenarios and see how you guys would handle this situation. And I might not call on some of the newbies as often, but maybe some of the veterans here. So of course we have different CVI scores, and of course 3 points is a scale of great magnitude, but no one person is the same, and also just because someone has a CVI score doesn't make them only that person. Meaning, if you're a builder innovator, and you might be in an innovator state or a builder state at certain moments. So anyway, keep it simple. I'm just going to use one of the core values and see how you would handle it. So let's say you get a PDI call. Okay, so I'll set it up first. Let's say you get a PDI call, okay? And the PDI call is from a rep who has 5 demos ahead of them and just went 0 for 2, okay? And they are a builder, okay? So builder, the 5 demos booked ahead of them, went 0 for 2, and they're calling you for help. So would anyone like to step up and say, how would you coach this person on a quick PDI call? Daniel.
I'll do this one, but I'll try not to do it much more because I know a little bit more. But if it was a builder, I'd say, how do you feel about those 2 demos? And I'm sure they'd be pretty brief with me. Yep. You're like, okay, cool. How do you feel about the 5 coming up? Are you okay with like that amount of demos coming up, or do you want more? They said that they're okay with it. If they say that they're okay with it, then I would coach them a little bit more on the 5 demos, or the two no sales that they had. Just get to the point with them quick. But if they said that they wanted more, like they're like, yeah, 5's okay, but I would want some more. I'd be like, all right, just get on the phone, and I'd like give them like direct action, and I wouldn't like sugarcoat it. I'd be brief and be gone.
Yep.
But yeah, like I said, if it was less, if they were fine with the 5, then I'd talk more about how they felt, ask them about recommendations. I'd dig more into the 2 no sales.
Yep. Cool. Great. Yep. Take action.
I don't know. How do you feel about that? Like, what would you say in response to my answer?
No, I think that's great. I'd also include like builders like challenges. So I'd also like challenge them like, hey, do you only want 5 ahead of you? And I'd also like I'd also add in some competition stuff of like, hey, do you realize that Josh, by the way, I know you went 0 for 2, it's okay. You have you're going to crush on your next 5 demos, but just, there's 3 people already who hit 1,000 and Josh is leading the way at 1,500. How do you feel about that? Yeah, I think you can totally beat them. So why don't you, I'd hop on the phone and make some more phone calls because they have 8 ahead of them and 10 ahead of them. And, they're ahead of you in CPO. I'd want to catch up.
Nice.
Cool. All right. Hop on the phone. Yep. Cool. Okay. Let's say someone is a banker and they call in. Or let's say all these people, they wanted 10 demos in their first weekend. Okay. And they've done 2 and there are no sales and they have 5 ahead of them. All right. So let's say they are a banker. Lake, how would you handle that PDI call?
Yeah, so they wanted 10, did 2, there are no sales, and they have 5 ahead, you said?
Yep.
Okay. I would just remind them of, hey, remember in training, 7 out of 10 people buy, right? That means that, odds are, the next 4 of the 5 are going to be sales, which is good. So I would just remind them of the stats. And then I think the best thing after that is just to map out a thorough, like detailed plan of, hey, when are you going to phone? How are you going to get 3 more demos to get to the 10 that you wanted?
Yep. That's perfect. I mean, these guys really want to know, the bankers want to know stats and reminded of, hey, it's okay. You got 2 no sales out of the way, dude. You're going to have 6 or you're going to have 7 of your next 8 appointments are going to be sales. Okay. And you need 3 more, right? Okay. Well, how many phone calls is that going to be? All right. 5 each. That's 15 calls. When can you make those 15 calls? Okay. Stay on track. Make sure you do 5 before, 5 after. And then, that's how you do that. Cool. Love it. All right. Let's say the same person is a merchant. Josh, how'd you handle that?
Yeah, so it'd be a longer conversation for sure.
Yep.
And I mean, it might take up to 20 or 30 minutes even, but if it needs to take that long to help them feel better or feel good going into their next appointments, that's what they need, right? So I would be very open with them. I would say, hey, tell me how you're feeling. Tell me how you're feeling from those past 2 demos. How did they go, right? And ask like, I would ask questions and get curious. I would say, yeah, so when you got to this portion, I would dig in and find out what is going on. I would talk with them. I would listen to what they're saying. I would I would give them suggestions on what they may have done wrong. And then I would just remind them, hey, don't forget about the fact that, 7 out of 10 people are going to buy. And you just started off with, a couple no sales. No big deal, right? And just help them feel better and remind them of like normal stats and averages. So it would definitely be a longer conversation for sure. But again, talk them through it, figure out what's going on and help them feel better.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Yeah, it would be a longer conversation. I think also remind them like, hey, it's okay. You're important to our team. Okay. Josh, you're important to our team and don't worry, like I said, in training, some people just don't get off to a great start. And it's only been 2 demos. Are you still having fun in your demos? Yeah. Are you making progress? Awesome. Hey, you still made $17 each. That's great. So, don't worry about it. You're important to the team and they like stories and they like, relationships and even saying, hey, our division manager, Jason, actually started 0 for 9. He sucked when he started. And look at him now. He's our division manager. So, don't worry about it. So like this weekend's going to be really big for you. good luck on those next 5 demos, and don't forget to make 5 before and 5 after. Cool. So then they have vision as well of a hope of like, oh, wow, you know, I can be like this person too. Okay, great, Josh. All right, let's see. Who do I call on next for the innovator?
I can go.
Okay, cool. Mariah, same person, an innovator. Go.
So for an innovator, I would go back and kind of like dissect their demo a little bit on the 2 no sales and ask like what they think they could improve on there.
Yep.
And kind of ask like kind of what they think went wrong or why they think they had the no sale, or, you know, just kind of their opinion on why it went the way it did. And then what they think they could do to change it and implement on their next demo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I would say for that.
That's great.
If I could add one thing, just
Go ahead.
a really good thought. I would also, on top of everything that Mariah just said, I would also say, hey, do you mind if I give you a few suggestions on what you could do to fix your demo? Because like it says on the sheet here, innovators are open to ideas, right? So I'd say, hey, you know how you weren't reading the manual when you were closing there? Remember how it says, you see where it says, hey, be completely silent and wait for the answer when you ask for the order, right? Why don't you give that a try, right? Give them some ideas and encourage them on them as well.
Yep. Yeah, that's really good, because when they come up with the idea, they are the smartest person ever, right? Even though you're guiding them towards it, instead of just telling them like you would a builder, innovator, it's like, so why do you think you went 0 for 2? Why do you think Sally and Susie next to you in training went 2 for 2? Right? You know, when you heard them role playing, were they just kind of randomly saying things kind of like you were, or were they reading the manual word for word, right? So do you think you were following the manual word for word? Okay. So what do you think you should do? Okay. You totally got this. And by the way, you need 3 more demos towards your goal of 10 this weekend. What else do you think you should do between these appointments? I'll probably make some phone calls. Yeah. How do you feel about making those 5 before and 5 after? Do you think it's a smart idea? Cool. Why don't you go ahead and do that? So that's great, guys. Next scenario. Okay, we'll do a few of these. This is fun. Okay, so we'll do a few of these. So another one would be, you have a person in your training, your rabbit. They're going for 10K. They told you they're going for 10K in their fast start. They told you they're gonna do 40 demos. They finished their first weekend. They did 10 demos. They're at $3,000. Okay, 10 demos at $3,000, and they are at their day 4 PC, their fast start PC on day 4. Okay, on a Tuesday. They have 6 days left of their fast start, and they're going for 10,000. Okay, so what are some things you do? PCing this rep who's going for 10K and at 3K after the first weekend. And let's say we'll continue with the innovator. Would anyone like to tackle that before I call on someone? Okay, Isaiah, do you want to take a crack at it?
I suppose so.
Okay.
So first I'd ask them how they're feeling about the rest of the week and what their goals might be.
Yep.
Ask them how many appointments they have set up, or make sure that they feel confident about those appointments, and that if there's anything that they feel like they messed up, maybe work on that. Other than that, that's kind of what I've got from it.
That's great. Okay, cool. Who else would like to pile on? The innovator.
I would kind of ask them like what kind of plan that they have going forward to get to 10K.
Mm-hmm.
And like kind of build like a plan for them so they feel confident in it.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, every day 4 PC is going to be helping them with their names lists and their schedule. But it's just about how do you go about it? So that's great, Mariah.
Mm-hmm.
What else would you guys do? It's an innovator.
Yeah, I would look at their schedule, and I would remind them, I'd say, yeah, so how you feeling about those 40 demos you said you were going to do? Awesome. Okay, cool. You did 10 so far. so what do you think you need to do for the next 6 days here? They'd be like, oh yeah, I have 30 I need to do yet. I probably should book five a day for 6 days. I'm like, yeah, awesome, cool. What do you have booked ahead? I'd ask, what do you have booked ahead of you? Awesome. What's your schedule looking like? And then one thing too, before you even get into any of this, I would be like, hey, great job so far. How do you feel the weekend went? Or how do you feel your first weekend went? Right. And, was it fun? Did you enjoy the presentation and everything like that? Right. I would kind of do a quick recap of their first weekend before I get into the rest of the week as well.
Yep. I think another good thing to ask would be, are you open to coming in each morning to make phone calls? Right? Are you open to going all in? And there's obviously each PC goes a little bit different, but I think those are some great ideas for that. So cool. So let's move on. I'll pick someone to start it, and then we'll add on. So let's see. This same person, Seth. The same person is a builder. Okay. So first weekend sold 3K on 10 demos. They're going for 10K. They're going to crush it, but they're there on their fast start PC, and they're a builder.
Yeah, so for a builder, it'd probably be pretty brief. Just ask them what they did, how they did it, and what they can do to improve.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be my main things. And then if I noticed anything I saw that they could improve on, I'd probably tell them that really directly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yep. Direct and quick. Just tell them what to do without a lot of stories, and tell them to take action. Okay. What else would you guys do with that builder rep?
I would ask them, hey, how are you going to feel when you hit 10K after these 6 days are over? Inspiring that, short-term vision that they have, and be like, awesome, cool. And then say, yeah, basically what you need to do, you've done 10 demos so far, you got 30 left to do. You're a little bit behind here, so you need to do a consistent 5 demos a day for the next 6 days here. Can you do that? Awesome, cool. Can you come in and phone every morning and be committed? Awesome, sweet. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Who else would like to add on? The builder. Okay. A couple other ideas of the builder is, hey, do you realize, Josh, how big of a deal 10K is? Do you know how many people have done that? Yeah, not many. Do you know that only, like 5 people this last year out of our state have done that? Do you realize that you will be talked about for the next year or two about how great you are and about you hitting 10K and making $2,000? How many times have you heard us talk about Lake, right? Yeah, that's so old news. It's 3 years ago. How would you like to be that next person we brag about all the time, right? And it's like, do you realize too, like you're going to be winning all these prizes? You're going to have these all for your demos, right? So they appreciate that. They love having the power and the challenge and accomplishing things. So making sure challenging them for what other people have done, and also what it's going to do for them, and it's going to build up their power of their belief in themselves. Daniel or Lake, anything else you want to add for a builder?
I would just say breaking down their previous results from the weekend, and then letting them embrace their results so far, so that inspires them to take action over the next few days.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and getting them on the phone. Okay, same rep is a banker. Kensington, the same rep is a banker, and in front of you on day 4 of their fast start, going for 10K. What do you tell them?
Oh boy. So probably talk to them about how successful they've been so far, so that they're feeling good, but also make sure that they know they have a lot more work to do to get 10K. and then like help them create a plan.
Yep.
Okay.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's great. You know, think about what you handled there that not I don't know everyone would have gotten is they love the stats. It's like, do you realize, Kensington, you're way above average? You only did 10 demos and you're at 3K. You're way above average. With stats, you should be at 2K. You're way above. So what do we say is going to happen? 70% closing ratio? You're like an 80%. You know, average order of 300 plus, you're at like 400. You're killing it. So the averages work, right? You just have to do more demos. So do you see why we say 40 demos to hit 10K? Great. So you already have done 10. All you need is how many more? 30 more, right? So breaking it down and breaking down a schedule. So when do you think you should phone? Okay. And how many phone calls a day should you make? So if you need 30 more demos at 5 calls each, you need to make 150 more calls, right? So how do you feel about that? Cool. Let's put that in your agenda. Let's break it down your schedule. Every morning, 30 calls. Okay. And you know what? If you look at the track record for success, the plan is most people at 10K are at the office phoning, and they're consistently phoning. They're calling before and after every demo, like you've done a great job of. Okay, so as you can see, the numbers play out. The numbers are truth. Okay, and that's how you break it down. So that's just elaborating on what you were saying. So that was great. What else would you guys do for a banker in that PC?
I can say.
Yeah.
I think you said a lot of the good things there, Jason. I would say another thing is just maybe say like, you know, 10K fast start in 10 days is 1,000 a day. So if it's day 4 PC, it's probably early in the day, so they still have that day. But you could say, you know, it's already day 4. You're a little bit behind average. So not only touching on the good things that they're doing and all the positive stats, but also like scare them a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep, breaking it down, 1,000 a day. I love it. Okay, and then the last one, merchant, and then we'll kind of wrap things up because this is it's almost 4:45 here. So, what would you guys do for the merchant? Let's have Daniel. You kind of just spoke. Josh, how about you? How would you work with the merchant?
Yeah, for the merchant, I would again, long-winded conversation.
Yeah.
Right. And I would just talk I would sit them down, talk with them for a while. I'd say, cool. How were your demos, right? Start off with first of all, how was your weekend, right? How do you feel that things went? Did you have fun? Did you enjoy the company that you had, right? And just make them feel, and just also make them feel appreciative, right? And also say like, yeah, you know, you're doing great. You're doing awesome so far. I'm really proud of you. Keep up the great work so far. And then just break down and talk them through, hey, this is like, you know, talk them through what their plan or their action steps need to be for the future or for the upcoming days here. But again, starting out with making sure that they feel good for what they've done already and show them how they're going to feel when they hit the 10K goal and walk them through it as well.
Yep, that's great. What else? A couple more of you.
I can actually talk on that one again.
There you go, Mr. Profound Merchant.
Since it's day 4, Tuesday, I would get them really, really pumped about team meeting. If they're like really sharp and they're going for 10K, then they're gonna initially think that'd be better to do demos at that time. So I would say like getting them involved about how, you know, the whole team's gonna be there. They'll be around all of their peers and cohorts. I learned those words in college, but and just like remind them about how much more important phoning is than doing like 2 demos at that time.
Yep. Great. And there's some really deep, even deeper strategies too when you guys figure out, okay, if they're a merchant innovator. So this is really great. I just want to make sure you guys don't get paralyzed by, okay, what is this customer? Are they a builder or banker? What do I do? all this does allows you to kind of cater the way you work with that person, whether it's a customer or a rep, and your significant other and your parent and your friend, right? It really, and then they feel very much listened to, and they really look up to you as a friend or someone in their life because you really get them. Okay, so that's that. Couple promo things for next week. First of all, as a reminder, if you were not at Leadership Academy, I'll be sending this out to you to make sure you watch that this week. And then also, I'd love feedback from all of you on the playlist this week as well. We'll be talking about it next week on the call. Next week, the next 2 weeks, we'll be focusing on emotional intelligence, which is understanding how much more important EQ is compared to IQ, right? A lot of people think IQ is what's going to get them places. IQ helps, but even more important, based on studies, is your EQ, your emotional intelligence, your awareness of people, your awareness of yourself, and how other people are interacting, how you interact with them, which is why we cover CVI and some of these tests so you guys understand how to work with people. And then I feel like it's something else to cover. Basically, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for your dedication to growth, and thank you for your commitment to growing as well. I wish you guys the most success this week. Let's get over 1,000 this week. Let's hit your goals this week. Keep growing. Keep doing your thing. And Lake and I will be in St. Louis learning a ton to come back. And I'm sure Lake and I will share some awesome things on the call next week about our conference as well. So if you have any questions, stick on. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys. And of course, no calls this week for me with PCs because we'll be in St. Louis. So next week, we'll see all of you. Peace.
Question.
Peace.
Go.